before I say or do anything else, what do you see when you look at this? Tell me. Use one of the options you see on the screen and tell me what you see. Because it says something about how you think, why you think, and what you think. But it doesn't say something about the shape. So what does the shape have to do with anything? Well, you haven't heard? You haven't watched? Well, if you haven't, today's episode of the podcast, we really are tying the shapeshift game into a brand like yours using none other than Deft. Here on today's episode of Designing Last.
My best bet, pizza serve. My best bet, pizza serve.
Best that I can do.
Yeah.
Tell you.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Hey, I'm Dev Dog Devin, and no, this is not me. That's not even shaking my head, but that is the shape for today's episode of the Shapeshift game. So, once again, thank you all for coming back for another episode of Designing Last. I'm your host, Dev Dog Devin, and since you've already seen this shape, you should have a little bit more time now to be able to think about what else this could represent. Take that moment and tell me, what do you see when you look at this shape? There's no right or wrong answer. Use one of these three answers you see on the screen and let us know what you see. All right. Well, I'm going to start off by telling you this. I know what I saw when I drew this, and it wasn't what you were thinking. And I say that because I know what I was thinking, but you don't. You don't know where I was going when I was drawing the shape. However, from where you stand, it says something to you. So that is where the disconnect lies, and hopefully with your help and your participation and just your brilliant minded spirit, you'll quickly understand how today's episode of the podcast, not only the shapeshift game relates to Deft, but how the ecosystem of Designing Labs, the shapeshift game, the music, and the film Sketchy Success all relate to each other within the ecosystem of the brand that we are building in relative time on this platform, Deft. So I say that because when I was thinking about this shape, when I drew this shape and I was thinking about what it could represent, there was something that came to my mind right off the bat. And I'm going to go ahead and draw it out now. So this was the original shape, and this is what it's going to look like after I draw it back out again and tell you what I was thinking when I drew it. Now, you're probably going to be like, what is that? A ring? Uh, condom? What is that? Like, it's a mirror. Now, to add some little extra detail in here, what I can do though is add some texture here to the outside, so you know it's a differentiator a little bit more. Does that make a difference? Does that change the shape? Does that change the object? Let's move on. Once again, the shape. At this time, choose what do you see first when you look at that shape. And when you're done, I'm gonna go ahead and draw what I saw. I don't know if this person looks familiar to you or is he just an everyday person's face, but this is what I saw when I sleep. All right. At this time, let's go on. Once again, our oval shape for today's segment of the shapeshift game. And once again, choose from the following and let me know what you saw when you first saw the image. I'm still thinking about what I see something else. I see a mask. What mask? Well, you determine that, but I definitely see a mask. It's kind of a little bit of a cross between Spider-Man slash Jason slash what's the old brother's name? Deadpool. Oh my goodness, I couldn't even think of his name for a second. My bad. But yes, definitely giving me Deadpool vibes. Huh. Alright. And let's draw another one. Once again, same shape. But the difference is the perspective. Once again, perspective is how something is viewed from a distance, yet perception is how you see something from a distance. To clarify, there's a difference, and the difference is depending on the individual and where they are. Kind of like you and I. Us. So, with that being said, now that I have this shape again, what else do I see? And just like that, it changed from just a simple oval to a completely different option. Man, this was another good exercise, y'all. We kind of went through this a lot faster than I was expecting. But hey, I cannot leave without telling you all to do the honors of finding out what you think when you see this image. What's the first thing that you would draw when you see this? Go ahead and let us know. No options needed. Just put it down below. Just like that, man. I think we should take a moment just to let that breathe for a second, because man, this Asians game really has been opening up my creativity when it comes to looking at things from the smaller picture and taking it further step by step when it comes to what each time that I draw the same shape, I see something different, and it all leads to the bigger picture that the first thing you see doesn't mean it's the right thing, doesn't make it a wrong thing. The more you look at something and the more that you spend time on your creativity, especially when it comes to designing, the more you're going to get out of it. That's just with anything. How creative are you determines, so it's dependent on simply how willingly you are to be creative, putting yourself in that environment to be creative and to explore the creative opportunities that come with it. But they don't come by just being in the right place at the right time like that. It comes from being consistently working at it and being frequent. That's important. That is what determines the difference between a professional and someone who does it something for a hobby or does it because, you know, they just like it. And don't get me wrong, if you just like being a designer or creating cool stuff, that's dope too. If you're just doing it for the hobby because you have the ability to do so. We cherish all artists because art is one of those things that people take for granted. Why? I just don't know why. But I will say this much. Man, if the music ain't hitting you or the words ain't hitting you, I don't know what else to say, but man, let him use you. Like, let the truth be told and let it be shown. Don't allow social media or your small circles of friends to determine your outcome of what your business or brand or your potential can be. That was one of the main reasons why we created this podcast, because we didn't want to just show people once they make it big and famous, or celebrities, talking about their, lifestyles that of the rich and famous or anything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's kind of cool if you are inspired by that kind of things, but is that really going to push the culture forward in a positive light that's going to change things more than just get people thinking more negative towards the culture at hand, the society that we know of as far as art today is being challenged. I think that people think that any and everybody has the capabilities of doing whatever they want to be, and I'm not here to say that you don't, but at the same time, just be mindful that for everyone who says that they are, there's just as many of them who aren't. And if you understand where I'm coming from, when you understand, this, when it comes to business, man, it's business as usual, as they say. Like, it's you gotta take it with a grain of salt. It does not happen overnight. You do not have a business overnight. You do not have a brand overnight. Now, you can have a company name, you can have a logo overnight, which leads me to Deft. This brand was not created overnight. This company was not created overnight. This platform, Design Last, definitely wasn't created overnight.
What do you think? Can you make this a little more minimal? Seems to be a little bit busy.
This is exactly why today's episode exists. All of this is still underneath the umbrella of Deft. And the origin story for how Deft became to where it is always been there. It's been right in front of both your eyes and mine. Because as I unpack and talk more and more daily, as a weekly on the podcast, I realize how much I've been blinded by the fact that we've been here. We just haven't been as vocal about what we do. So we are doing our best to change that narrative for the future and for the present. So from this day going forward, you will hear more about the story of Deft, starting with the logo mark. The logo mark Deft is a word mark, and it symbolizes the playful youthfulness and the essence of who I am, to the degree it really does reflect me. However, I wanted to make sure to be careful that you can't just identify everything about Deft by just one click or one glance. And that's what makes us unique, because same way you can't do that even when it comes to looking at our work. It looks very coherent, and it is, because it's all within an ecosystem and within the brand's mythology. However, it started as a perspective that changed based off of time, execution, growth, and perception changed a lot of that as well. And why did I say that? Well, let's start here. I created my first logo for myself as a freelancer over 10 years ago. Let's say that. I don't want to date myself. However, when I created that, it was me at that time looking at perception versus perspective versus perception from a different angle. And where I am now in my life compared to then is totally different. Even though there's a lot of things that are still the same as far as my passion, my drive, and all that type of stuff. It's just more things that I've accumulated as well over time as well too. Knowledge, learning experiences, and so much more. But I say that to say this. When I started the first logo design for my freelance, which I knew I had a bigger picture for a vision for what I wanted to be, I just didn't know how to get to that vision, or how to bring that vision to life, I should say. I started off with this original logo that I have tatted on my arm. Now, I'll show you a picture of it so you can see for yourself. I would stand up so you can see if that makes it better, makes it a little bit easier. There you go. As you see, that mark was an original mark for my freelance, and it was really about me looking at the bigger picture from far away, seeing it from the clouds, as if some old larger than life type of style. Not to say that I was thinking like I am or something, but I wanted it to have that kind of feel, because this is something epic. And that carried on into now where I am with Deft, being more polished, more refined, more sophisticated, more clear, and more direct with my intentions for what the vision is, what the purpose is, how we're going to get there, and who we're going to get there with. That's right. That means the creatives who collaborate with us are just as valuable and important to the mission as the mission itself, as me, as the clients that we support and serve, the customers that we reach, and the audience that we are building. I say all of that because of seeing the whole picture becoming more clear day by day as we continue to keep building this brand is something that, man, it's riveting. It is. It is very riveting. And, man, I get to the point where sometimes I'm a little overwhelmed almost that the fact that we just getting started, man. We really are, y'all. So I wanted to share that little story, a little bit more about the whole journey of Deft, and I'll show you some videos to show you evidence of how it started, and you can follow along over on social media to see more about the story. But I just need y'all to see that this is not something that just was pulling out of my ass, or or something I just wrote about or put on ChatGPT to come up with some plan. No, this is years of dedication, years of discernment, discipline, development, devotion, sacrifice, building confidence, and so much more. So if you are interested in being a part of this journey here with us and seeing how your brand, that's all, your brand, seeing how your brand can be transformed relatively fast in a Deft manner, I humbly and strongly encourage you to hit us up. The best way to do so is to follow us on all social media platforms at Devin's Deft, and don't forget the website, devinsdeft.design. And that's the best way that you can keep in contact with us to know anything you need to know about how you can get involved, what new things are going on, what's next, what's working, what doesn't work, and ask questions that you don't already have the answers to, because if you really think about it, we all do. It's just a matter of getting out of our own way and going for it. So this has been another episode of Designing Labs, y'all, and I just want to close off today by saying, go ahead and go to devinsdeft.design. Click on the link to sign up for our newsletter, because in the newsletter we have a special event coming up that I don't want you all to miss. In case you haven't already been informed about it, the Deft Blueprint is on its way. That's right. So you can also go to the same website and also register to attend. Right now, we're already accepting attendees. The doors are open and the seats are filling up. So, man, just be mindful. Hey, October 8th is right around the corner, and it will be here before you know it. I want to special shout out to our special speakers. I'm not gonna name them off in here yet because we haven't finished naming everybody who our speakers are. We've already been announcing them slowly, one by one. And if you haven't already heard who they are, hey man, check us out on social media so you'll know. But man, we're excited. They're excited. And man, we're just gonna continue to keep on pushing the culture forward, the vision forward, the creativity for it in the name of being Deft. So, with that being said, I'm your host, Devin, here with another episode of Designing Labs. Don't forget, y'all, stay engaged, stay encouraged, and stay creative. Until next time, peace. Yeah. Oh, also, don't forget, on Patreon, y'all, exclusively, new episodes of Cook This. Also, behind the scenes of Designer Labs and more exclusive Just Def content that you're only going to see only on Patreon. And guess what? You're invited.